Facts Verse presents Colorado mom's double life leaves her family destroyed. You can think that you know everything about a person, only to find out later that you didn't know anything about them at all. And that was the case with Paige Bergfeld. Everybody thought they knew all there was to know about Paige, including her family, until one day everything changed. Paige Bergfeld lived in Grand Junction, Colorado, which is a small, picturesque city. People considered Paige to be a superwoman. She dedicated her life to her children, and she worked very hard. After her husband became violent with her, she divorced him and moved on to make sure that she and her 3 children still had a peaceful and happy life. Unfortunately, it was not as easy as she had hoped. After her divorce, Paige needed to find a way to get by without her husband's income. She didn't want her children's lifestyle to change at all, so she had to figure out a way to supplement her income. To make ends meet, she tried several endeavors, including selling cooking supplies, selling nursing slings, and teaching dance lessons to children. She was managing several businesses when she realized that she needed more. She wanted to find love again. Rob was Paige's second husband. Her first husband, Howard Ron Beegler, was a man that she dated in high school. They were high school sweethearts, but they got married too young. This was part of the reason that their marriage didn't last. The divorce was amicable, and they stayed in contact after the divorce. When Paige and Ron divorced, she and Howard reconnected romantically, and they planned to have a second first date. Paige and Howard didn't want to have a typical first date. They'd already done the dinner and movie things, so they decided to do something a bit more romantic. They were going to have a picnic at the most scenic spot they could find. The plan was to meet up in Eagle, Colorado, which was about a 2-hour drive from Paige's home. They were both excited to reconnect after all those years. The picnic took place June 28, 2007. It was a beautiful day, and they enjoyed each other's company. When it started getting dark, they decided to say goodbye, and Paige headed home. Paige wanted to get back in time to kiss her children goodnight. When she was almost home, Howard called her to make sure that she got home all right. She told him that she was fine and she was almost home. That's the last time anyone heard from Paige. It got later and later, and Paige's children had no idea where their mother was. It wasn't like her to go so long without checking in. By 11 p.m., her children were very worried. Her daughter called her cell phone, hoping that she would answer and let them know where they were. Unfortunately, the call went to voicemail. She left a message for her mother, letting her know that she and her siblings were worried. The date was on a Thursday, and on Saturday she still had not returned home. Everyone in her life was frantically trying to get in touch with Paige, including Howard and her ex-husband Rob. Finally, the children's babysitter Jess, who'd been caring for them for days, called the police. After searching for signs of Paige, the police found her car 3 miles from her home. Her body wasn't inside, and the car was burned out. The police believe this was done to hide any evidence from her whereabouts. Her phone and purse were missing, but they did find a day planner. The police hoped that would give them some information about where she might be. The planner survived the fire, but the police discovered that the last 4 pages had been torn out, as if someone didn't want the police to know who Paige would be spending the next few days with. Another red flag was the driver's seat. It was pushed back as far as it could go. Paige would never have been able to reach the pedals with the seat so far back, so the police believe somebody else had been driving. While the police were examining Paige's car, there was a search going on of the area. Their search expanded through all of Mesa County, and there were plenty of places to hide. Police, search dogs, and volunteers were searching the area looking for Paige. They even had divers in the water searching the Gunnison River. Along the road, they discovered Paige's things littered all along Highway 50. They found her checkbook and her children's medical cards. They weren't sure why someone would throw these things on the road. At the same time, the police were searching Paige's house for clues, and this was when they found out about Paige's dark secret. Paige may have been the supermom of Grand Junction, but that wasn't all she was. Police found out that while Carrie was on her picnic with Howard, a man named Jim had been texting her, but he was calling her Carrie. Why was Paige using a fake name? Police had trouble finding Jim because he was texting Paige from a prepaid phone. It took some investigating, but they did find him, and his name was actually Lester Jones. He worked right across from where Paige's car had been found. After interrogating Lester, they found out that he was a career criminal. They also found out that Paige was an escort who went by the name Carrie. It all made sense now. Carrie turned to prostitution to make ends meet, and they were sure that Lester had something to do with her disappearance. 5 years after her disappearance, Paige's body was finally found by a hiker. It wasn't clear how she died, but it appeared that she did put up a fight. Lester was arrested, but there was a mistrial. During the second trial, he was sentenced to life without parole. Sadly, Paige is gone, and her children lost their mother as a result of her dark secret. Subscribe for more.